no harm anyway,
don't they?
Absolutely.
Right, we're going live.
We
should be live. So
fabulous.
Yeah, I'm always a bit clunky at first. I'm not quite used to being a professional yet.
You'll get slicker at it.
Yeah. So yeah, hi everyone. I'm Alison. I know there's been quite a few members joining the group recently, so I thought I'd do a little bit of an introduction to myself. Firstly, if you are watching, can you click some likes and click some hearts so it boosts the post and more people can see us, because obviously mums, dads are busy, and it's good to boost the post so people can watch it later. If you're watching it on replay, please put #replay. And if you've got any comments or questions throughout, please do drop them in the comments below. And I'm multitasking again, so I'm going to try and view your comments in my phone. The video's there. Great. So yeah, so I'm Alison. I set up the Self-Belief Project in December last year, and it's boomed really. So it went from 0 to almost 700 members in, what are we, March now, 3 months. So that's amazing. I'm really happy because I really want to support families to boost self-belief and confidence in their children, and obviously that will help families feel better connected, calmer, and supporting parents really, because I know it can be really stressful when your children are anxious or have low moods. So yeah, I want to offer some tips and resources to help support you. So yeah, so I'm here with Rachel today, who is otherwise known as Mrs. B. So this is an exciting day for Rachel because she has just become self-employed today. So exciting. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Evening, everybody. So I am Rachel, as Alison said, also known as Mrs. B. I am a mum to 2 girls, 11 and 13. One is home educated as of December last year, so a brand new journey for us, and our youngest will return to school next year. We wish, she wishes, next week she'll return to school next week, and she's just in her last year at primary school, so I'm going to have my second one at high school very shortly. Been juggling homeschooling and working full time, and as Alison has just said, I've just started on my self-employed journey as a tutor. So if we've got a chance to tell you a bit more about that, then I'll tell you a bit more about that as we go on. I was a primary school teacher for 14 years prior to what I do now. The last 2.5 years I've been working as a tutor for a training company, and I teach functional skills to adult apprentices. So I kind of went from dealing with little ones to dealing with big people, so it was quite a jump, but stepped away from teaching at the time because it was rather full on with working full time and having 2 young girls. And just a lot of the pressures of teaching that comes for the teachers and the children. So we stepped away for a little bit and then just embarked on this
job, isn't it?
Very. I had a couple of periods where it caused me quite bad anxiety and stress, and I had to take some sick leave at different periods. And you know, you see it in the children, as I think we've seen with the lockdown and homeschooling, haven't we, that how the children are under so much pressure. We've physically seen it ourselves, haven't we, on the Zoom lessons or whatever they've been doing. But how much work they've got to produce, the pace of the work they have to do, and it's intense, isn't it? But it's got, with me now, I think with the homeschooling's kind of opened my eyes a little bit, that I need to get back and help these children. And I was just saying to you, Alison, wasn't I, as much as I love teaching children and have done for many years, I also love helping parents. And I think, like, as you just touched on a little bit, didn't you, that if we can empower parents to, you know, believe in themselves, to then believe in their children, and the children, it's that kind of double whammy, isn't it?
Confidence, yeah, isn't it? That kind of it. Things will be okay. We can do this together.
Definitely. So that's kind of a lot of where I'm at the moment, is this: I want to help parents educate and learn and have fun with their learning, and help support them with things that they're doing at home, and whether it is that they've decided to home educate their children, because I think that's going to be a thing, isn't it, after this lockdown period now, that some parents, a couple that I know, have chosen not to send their children back to school. They don't want them in that environment anymore.
Yeah, I know a lot of parents, and I've heard a lot of parents saying because their children were quite anxious at school, or they've had difficult experiences at school, they've actually been much happier during the lockdown. And so parents have made the decision, just whether it's a long-term decision or a short-term decision, to homeschool and to take that pressure off.
Definitely.
I think mental health is really important. If you're not mentally well, if you're not emotionally well, then you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to absorb anything.
That's it. And we probably, a lot of us have seen that in ourselves as adults, haven't we? So how we can expect our little people to be like that, but then, like you say, this realisation is sort of, it's there, isn't it, now that we go, oh, okay, we've really got to consider this. And I think obviously for older children as well, they've become more self-aware, probably, haven't they, of their moods and how they're feeling, and I've no doubt you're dealing a lot with that as well at the minute. So we've kind of we've all got to work together, I think, haven't we, you know? And I think one of the fantastic things about the group that you set up is that it's not just there for, I'm a parent using it, but it's also there for us as professionals to share our ideas, and isn't it, and do like what we're doing tonight and you've done before. It's draw on each other's knowledge and support each other the best we can, isn't it, I guess?
Exactly, it all pulled together, because I think we're suddenly realising as a society, well, not suddenly, it's been coming for a long time, but mental health is important, and there are things we can do, really simple things that we can do to promote better emotional well-being, such as, you know, using different types of language, talking in a slightly different way, offering knowledge, you know, empowering our children.
Absolutely.
So tonight I've got a few questions for you, and I think you've got a little bit to offer the group, so that
hopefully
so my first question was, tell me a little bit about yourself, but you said a little bit about that and where your passions are. So what's the typical challenge that children have around phonics and spelling that you find?
So I think if you know, take it right back to when they're very little, I think, and I even talk often when I've done my own lives, or I talk to friends and other people in my group, that even when we're carrying that baby, they're listening, and the key is that listening, isn't it, and always talking. And I think, you know, some parents are not aware that everything that you say around your child, they're taking in, they're sponges, aren't they? So I think the key thing is that listening, and especially for the generation of children that we're bringing up now, they're the screen addicts, aren't they? You know, and yes, okay, they might be listening to something there, but actually they're not listening to that spoken vocabulary and hearing words pronounced and reading things around us that we're sharing. So it stems from that. And then I've seen then teaching children who struggled with phonics or spellings because of that, and they've not been exposed to, you know, a variety of language, or parents not thinking that it's so important to communicate from them. And I can think back to, like, being in the classroom with a conversation I had with one mum once, kind of saying to her, look at, you know, words around you when you're out and about, you know, you're just popping shopping, have a look, you know, at the Morrison's lorry that's passing you on the motorway, or the billboards that are up and pointing out words and road signs and things. And she sort of looked at me and she said, oh, I never thought about that. And I think a lot of it stems from that, doesn't it, as well, not making our children aware. But then I also think, going back to what we've sort of mentioned earlier this evening, is that parents not having the knowledge and being confident to support and help their children at home. And again, we just said not long ago with it, when we were taught at school, it's very different to how things are taught now. And I think it's that as well, is that children go to school, and because parents don't feel confident to then continue that phonics learning or whatever at home, it kind of ends because they feel they can't give that input.
Whereas I believe that parents hold sometimes that I'm rubbish at maths, or I'm rubbish at English, and they'll hold that and say things like that, and so they'll believe that they can't do it. Perhaps that might rub off on the kids.
I think so. I've seen it in a lot of children, not, you know, I'm not saying all and every, but I think that's one of the big issues. And then we're hearing, you know, going back to the listening thing, but children not listening properly they're not hearing it because they're not listening properly. So using sounds to pronounce them, and then you can kind of go down the road of accents as well, and you know how we speak differently, or we use slang words, or we abbreviate things. So for me as a teacher, I remember being trained to speak properly and clearly, you know, because the children need that clarity, and then it's retaining. You know, it all kind of links with so many things, doesn't it? And the memory skills that we've got, have children got, you know, that concentration span and that the space in the memory to hold all this information, because it's information overload as well when they start school and nursery as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think with children to absorb information, like you say, they've got to feel safe and secure, emotionally well. It could be diet as well. If they've got like a high sugar diet, it's really hard to focus.
Yeah.
Kind of, like listening and hearing and absorbing that information.
Yeah.
So many things around you've got to consider for that child to be able to absorb
all of that they do, isn't it? You know, and it's like all about, it's that rounded person, isn't it? You know, and looking at everything that they're taking in and exposing them to stuff all the time. And I think the key thing is that for me, and the reasons behind what I do and I'm set out to do, is that let's help educate the parents again as well, almost take us back to school and right, this is how our children are learning now, and I'm just one person who's here to help where I can, you know. And just feel like you say, I think it goes back to, were parents, you know, did they have a bad experience themselves at school, isn't it? And if they did, it does affect the confidence of feeling that they can't help their children now, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's really hard.
We've got to look at ourselves, haven't we, as parents? We've got to look about what we believe and how we feel about it.
Definitely.
Watch out for any transference onto our children.
Yeah, that's it. And it's easy done, isn't it? It really is.
I could chat to you all night, Rachel.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I know. Just thinking. Yeah, let's move on.
So the second question is, what tips do you have for parents to support their children with learning?
Yeah, at home. I think that constant reassurance, as you say, and build up this resilience to learning, isn't it? You know, and empower the parents, empower the children. You know, don't be frightened to ask your child's teacher if your child's at school or nursery. Ask for help, you know. And I think for me, knowledge is the balm. I always say that. And every day is a school day. We all learn something new every day. I think having fun, which is a lot of what I'm about. Have fun with your children at home. We've always made games and, you know, done daft things, because I think as well, those are the things that the children remember, aren't they? I've done it in the classroom so many times. I can't tell you the parents that have come to me, and parents have gone, Mrs. Benton, Sophie said you were spelling some words wrong, and, you know, teachers get things right. And I think, well, I've done it on purpose because she's remembered, because that's how children remember, isn't it? If the adults have got it wrong. So I think it's, definitely a massive thing for me is just try and have fun with learning at home. You know, there's so much pressure for them at school and nursery when they start. Take that pressure off, and not to say don't carry on that learning, but just play some games, have some fun.
Have you got any activities then to suggest?
So sticky notes is my go-to. Okay, just good old post-its, sticky notes. Get some. You can pick them up from the supermarkets, can't you? They don't have to be the official post-it stuff. But any games with these, we often used to do again with our girls when they were little. So when they first started learning sounds at school, we'd write a sound on a post-it note, or their set of sounds. If they're learning, like, say, six sounds in a set, sapping, you know, there's your first one, there's your go-to, SAT or SAT, and then put each of those sounds on a post-it. We'd go and stick them all around the room, and because they're post-its, they're not going to damage the surfaces and the walls and whatever. And the girls would just race around, and we'd go and find them, and we'd come and put them back, you know, and make a word, or we'd match them up, or we'd go around the house and put those post-its on something that begins with. So if you're doing find something, go around with your child going socks, put the post-it on the socks, things like that. And another fab one, if I can get it in, right, for spelling. So obviously when children are learning spelling words, and this can be for any age, Alison, get your child to be the teacher. You are the one being tested on those words. So you write the words down if they've got their list of, say, 10 spellings for that week, but get them wrong. and our girls used to love this. They couldn't believe that Mummy and Daddy used to get like 1 or 0 out of 10, but then they'd have to mark the words and then they'd have to write them out for us so we knew how to spell them correctly.
What an amazing thing for confidence.
There you go. Yeah. Indirectly, they hadn't got a clue that they were the ones learning the spellings, not us.
Yeah.
And that's oh god, yeah. So when they got to, probably, I think we got it up to about year 4, they probably both got to about that age when they figured that, you know, you're having me on a bit here. But I think we still do it now from time to time, and just, you know, just becomes a bit of a joke then. But that's just a fab one, and how easy to kind of do, and it's not like they're not then sitting there, right, spell, because spell, you know, fun, have that fun, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
So we could go on all night. I could give you loads of ideas, but, you know, as you said,
someone's just popped a question in, actually. So
okay.
Caroline, hi Catherine and Catherine, if you're still watching. Hi. Caroline has just posted, I think a lot of parents' feelings are transferred onto the children, their own self-worth, and I think homeschooling has brought this out more in parents if they are not sure of maths questions. Through educating parents, it's okay not to know the answer and to work together. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To be in the same place, like, oh, we don't know, like how can we find out? Should we do this together?
Yeah, that's it. Brilliant, isn't it? And I do that now with our girls, and I even do it with my apprentice learners now, because I think, although I'm a teacher, tutor, whatever, I'm not a specialist in maths, I'm not a specialist in English. I know lots of everything, and I find my adult learners will even say to me now, oh, I'm so glad you don't get it either. And I think it's definitely the same with the children, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then what a great way to model to them that, well, I'm going to find this out with you as well. And brilliant. Yeah, definitely.
I always loved the teachers at school that would admit or say, you know, I can be wrong, and just put your hand up if you think I'm wrong, just let me know.
Yeah.
But then the teachers that were always right, ooh,
yeah,
I remember them.
Give that shiver. Yeah. And you feel, you know, that relationship builds then, doesn't it? Because you're happier to approach them, probably because they've said that sort of thing to you, you know.
Yeah, and to know that they're human, they're not these like strange superhuman creatures.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a box. They live in the store cupboard at the back of the classroom.
We've got no other questions, but thanks for asking that question, Caroline. And
brilliant.
And Catherine as well. And I saw Emma pop up earlier. Well, I don't think I've got any other questions, have I? I asked them all in the wrong order.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, we got there. Me going off on a tangent.
Yeah, but well, tell us about your YouTube channel, actually.
Okay. So that's you know, is what I've talked about, is a support for parents, and whether it is that you're a home educating parent or whether you're just looking for some support with home learning. I can't even remember if I mentioned this just before we came on Zoom or while we've been on Zoom, but my big passion has not always just been with children and teaching children, but is helping parents as well. And I hate seeing parents struggle. I used to put workshops on at school, and that kind of leads to the YouTube stuff that I set up the YouTube channel, Shine and Learn with Mrs. B, in November. So it was before this lockdown. It was my youngest suggested to me we'd put on a quiz. We'd done a PowerPoint quiz for Halloween for her school, and we posted it in our Facebook group for everybody to see. And Emma said to me, Mummy, why don't you put it on a YouTube channel and everybody can see it? So we did. And then that led to, well, why don't you do a video about some, I don't know what the first one was, I think it was times tables. That's one of our most popular videos. So she videoed me making a game, and we posted this on. We've done a couple of silly TikToks as well that are on there. And then it's just led to loads of maths and English and phonics videos that are out there, just sort of 3 to 8 minutes long, to give you ideas and tips of just really simple and easy games to make and play at home, and all about engaging learning, and all based on primary curriculum stuff. So it's all, you know, it's all relevant. Covers and tick boxes, and we use loads of post-its.
So lots of activities on there as well.
And teaching methods as well, to help particularly key stage 2 parents when you get like the maths methods and things. Like the lady had said, I think, hadn't she, that I've covered, you know, things like adding fractions, long division, long multiplication, and I'm always open to people to suggest new things that they need covering.
Yeah.
So
So if you
have a
you're on
look.
YouTube, have a look, suggest to Mrs. B.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely that your daughter suggested that, and now it's kind
Yeah.
of been quite successful, hasn't it?
Very, yeah. We've got over 700 subscribers.
Oh, brilliant.
Can't believe it. Honestly, we watched it in the early days. It was like, oh, we've got 50. It was over 100. Now we've got to 200. And we tend to do a TikTok every time we've hit a new 100. We do a TikTok celebration.
Nice.
But it's gone a bit quieter at the minute. But you know, it's just there then, isn't it? It's there for anybody that just wants an idea for something. Go and have a look.
Well, we'll put your links in the comments, so your page and your YouTube, and this will be going up on YouTube as well, but I'll share it. Obviously, it's being shared in the group, but I'll share it with you.
Yeah, share. Yeah.
Out there.
That's
it. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Great chatting with you.
Yeah,
really.
it's been lovely. Hopefully we've helped someone, even if it's always, I think that thing is, if it's just one person can take something, then that's brilliant, isn't it? We've achieved.
Yeah. And if anyone does have any comments or questions, you know, you'll pop in, won't you, and answer them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to be quite active in the group for us as a family, you know, as a parent. And now I've got a bit more time as well. So I've caught up on a few posts today. Actually, I've made a comment. I've noticed on a couple of posts. So yeah, definitely I'll be in the group.
Brilliant. So don't forget, everyone, to do likes and hearts and hashtag replays and all that to bump the post. And I'll see you next time. I don't know who we'll have on next, but I'll let you know. So thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Alison.
I've got to remember how to turn it off. There we go. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's really nice.
Yeah. Could just sit talking all night, couldn't you? I think when you I think when we've messaged each other, I've just thought I could just meet you for a coffee, and having never met you before, you're just the kind of lady I could just sit and chat all day with about stuff.
Oh, same.
And what a lovely group, Alison, you built already. It's just, everybody's just so like warming and positive, aren't they, in there?
Yeah, it's been really, really nice. Like I kind of shied away from opening a group because I thought, well, who am I? And what have I got to offer? And no one will like me anyway.
There you go. You're nearly 700 in the group now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. And it's just, I love that social media is there for that, for free, isn't it? You know, what a resource. It's just amazing. I've got like advice from home ed groups that I'm a member of, but then I've also shared my channel or my group in there as well. So it's got twofold in there. But some of the people in there are just fabulous. I put a post out over the weekend about some, just to kind of say, not letting off steam, but just wanted to let you know I'd had an email and a missed call from Molly's high school last week, which was uncalled for. But I kind of just went, this is what I've experienced. I just wanted to let you all know. And then 2 or 3 people have commented, you know, oh, that's really awful. And then you start getting in a little conversation, don't you? And you just think, it's so nice to know people are there.
Home ed groups, aren't they? And really helpful, because like I was considering home educating. I joined quite a lot of the groups. Who's to say that I won't do it? They're really supportive, and they've got back, you know, and your local contacts you. They've got like all these
amazing. Absolutely. It's what an eye-opener. I've learnt more in those groups than we knew, you know, at all. And I think as well, like you say, the size of these groups, there are thousands of families that home educate, aren't there? It's unbelievable. Can't believe it, really can't.
And all for reasons that school became too much. Whether they had a bad experience or the child had anxiety and they weren't being supported. You know, or the system doesn't link in with their own family beliefs. You know, all sorts of reasons, but understandable. And I know there's a bit of a kind of war against homeschoolers, isn't there? But home educators.
I think this last 12 months has really opened a lot of people's eyes, hasn't it? My husband being one. And it's not that I've ever thought we would ever do it until we have, but it's, as a teacher, I've kind of had the thoughts of, oh,